In this series, I've set out to show you can still beat the Baron on challenging difficulty despite sacrificing some town layout optimizations in favor of historical realism. In the first episode, we cleared land for our town center and built our communal storage facilities in our marketplace. Then, we built our church, and made sure we were set up to provide all of our level 1 residential requirements before building our first homes. Finally, we built a trading post, sold some planks to pay for an orchard, cut some stone, and built our manor. As we head into our first winter, we'll need to continue to manage our workforce to ensure our fledgling village has everything it needs to survive the cold. And as we continue to expand and attract new villagers, we'll have to raise a militia or hire mercenaries so that we can defend ourselves from raiders. All the while, we'll have to keep an eye on the Baron and start to build our strength so we can eventually challenge him in the name of our king. Alright, we are about to hit the start of the month of November. Go ahead and send these guys home. Like I said, we're about to hit the next month, which means we'll get our next new family moving in. They should move into this burgage plot. And we're about to hit winter, so we need to make sure that we've got enough firewood, which at the moment we don't, but we're working on that. And as we continue to grow here, we're going to want to make sure that we always keep at least one available living space open, so that we don't miss any opportunities for new families moving in. We're also going to want to make sure that we keep our approval up for the same reason. At the moment, we're still good with just having one family on the granary and storehouse, and like I was saying, there's our new family. We should still be good on all of our food and clothing for now. We have no more leather, but we do have some hides stored up in the tannery that we can tan. Yeah, we're going to continue to grow here. We want to prepare ourselves to level up a couple burgage plots so that we can get the next development point and unlock charcoal burning so that we can set up, like we said in the previous episode, we're going to want to set up a bit of a charcoal burning operation in these woods over here. Charcoal sells really, really well. It's really easy to produce. You can see here, charcoal sells for NA a piece. It is 5 regional wealth a piece, but the best thing about it is that to make charcoal, you take 1 firewood and burn it in the charcoal kiln, and you get 2 charcoal out of it, which means you take that 1 firewood, which on its own only sells for 1 regional wealth, turn it into 2 charcoal, which sell for 5 each, so you took something that was worth 1 regional wealth and 10x its value for sale. And again, like we said in the previous episode, charcoal is really simple, or it's a really simple production chain. You just need 1 family cutting firewood and another family working the charcoal kiln. We do now have no open living spaces, so we're going to want to get a couple new burgages built. And as we think about where to put those burgages, we're also going to want to think about, with those 2 burgages that we're going to upgrade, what backyard extensions are we going to want to put on them once they're level 2. And since we know that we're going to have a band of raiders coming for us pretty soon, we're going to want to start producing weapons and armor. Initially, that'll just be spears and shields, but for that we'll need a blacksmith workshop, and we'll need a joiner's workshop. The blacksmith will produce spears, and the joiner will produce shields. And then we can also make wooden parts that we can export and get more money from. I think we will want to set our blacksmith up near the manor, just for that immersion factor of having your most kind of strategically valuable artisans, in this case a blacksmith that's producing weapons, near the manor, because eventually we can put walls in the manor And in the next update, whenever that comes out, we'll be able to make stone castles. So we'll be able to protect our blacksmith even better. But that is getting way ahead of ourselves. But we can go ahead and drag in a burgage plot here for our blacksmith, so that it's right nearby. Not just the manor for that immersion, but also nearby the iron deposit, which means we'll have our bloomery set up over here. So all the iron will be really close by, and it's close by the storehouse. So we'll go ahead and drop that in there. As for the joiner, I think we'll upgrade this burgage plot here eventually. Looks like we're going to need to start getting some planks made again. The other building that we can think about a location for is our tavern. And I like having the tavern kind of in the center of town, kind of on the village green. And so this right here looks like it'll be a perfect spot for it. And just so that we don't accidentally build anything there, we'll go ahead and put that in, but set it as the lowest construction priority, since that tavern is going to be pretty useless for us until we either have the ability to produce or import ale, which we don't have either at the moment. We can also think about if we want to get our charcoal burning operation set up out here. Obviously, we'll need a couple families to work the charcoal and the firewood, and most likely a storehouse and a forester's hut as well. So we'll need probably about 4 families for that. Charcoal burning was, depending on kind of what region you lived in and what historical sources you read. Again, big caveat here, I'm not a historian, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. But from what I've read, charcoal burning was often a pretty lonely profession. There's lots of allusions to charcoal burners being kind of pretty strange and lonely dudes who lived out in the woods, just, burning charcoal in kilns. So I think we'll have a couple families that are working the charcoal kiln itself and cutting the firewood for it. Maybe we'll set up their burgage plots out here in the woods, or maybe on this edge of the woods here, and then have the charcoal kiln right sort of in the middle here. Yeah, so we'll probably set up the charcoal burners right around here. And the other consideration with charcoal burning is that charcoal burning you needed water nearby to be able to kind of quench your kilns and manage the burn. So it'll also make sense to set up the charcoal kiln within close proximity to this pond here, so that we can say that our charcoal burners came to the pond to fetch water whenever they needed it. Alright, looks like the burgage plot that's going to be our blacksmith is ready. And so our next villagers that move in will be our blacksmiths eventually. So we'll say that we, our lord, or I guess us, we as the lord, went and recruited a blacksmith from a neighboring village that wanted to maybe settle down after leading a life of adventure, start a family in a new town. I think we'll put one here, and this first one, it's more than one. Make it a double though. This first one, we're putting on the edge of the woods and giving it a pretty decent sized backyard so that we can grow vegetables in there. But we're setting this one up on the edge of the woods rather than right in the middle, In this one, we're going to have, in the long run, be our forester. We want to make sure that as we're cutting down trees here for the firewood camp that's supplying the charcoal kiln, that we have a forester that is replanting those trees so that we don't run out of trees to cut down and turn into charcoal. All right, we've got 11 hides. That herd of wild animals is down to 10, so we'll go ahead and reassign the family from the hunting camp onto the tannery so that we can get those hides tanned so that we have more leather available for the market. One thing we can also think about is, as we're thinking about upgrading our burgages here, that's going to add new residential requirements. And one of those is going to be, well, two of them are going to be a third food demand, a second clothing demand, which are going to be a bit trickier to fulfill, especially right now since we're short on food sources. But one that's going to be easier to fulfill is the level 2 church requirement. If we want to upgrade our church, all we need are 16 planks, which we're working on producing. We've got the stone, we've got the timber, and we need 10 roof tiles. Roof tiles we don't have a way of producing at the moment, but that can be easily solved. We do have a clay deposit in our region. It's a bit out of the way here, but that's okay. Mining is a relatively quick gather. And if we set up the clay furnace right next to the mining pit out here, we can configure our storehouse to not come all the way out here to pick up clay, but only pick up roof tiles. And we can effectively just send one family out here to go mine clay, and then once the clay pit fills up, we can reassign them to the clay furnace. And that way, we can get some roof tiles in. So we can do that as well in the winter. We might want to get a third oxen so that we can assign one to the saw pit permanently. But again, if we're going to buy an oxen, we're going to need more regional wealth, which means we need planks to sell. Let's, just so that we can get some planks in, we're going to go ahead and assign one of our oxen to the saw pit so that it's only going to be dragging timber to the saw pit and not to construction sites. It's going to slow down our construction, but we don't have anything that's pressing at the moment. So we do want to get some planks made here. Right, there's that burgage plot, and it looks like we've also hit the start of the next month, which means we should have our new blacksmith, or soon-to-be blacksmith, that is, moving in here very shortly, and there they are. We are going to need to upgrade this and get some more regional wealth in before we can convert this to a blacksmith. It means we really need to get those planks going. The snow's falling, and it looks like our tavern was completed, which isn't going to do us much good because we don't have any means of ale production, and we don't have any coin to import it either for now. We are starting to get some planks in, which is excellent. We're going to need those. Since it looks like we have a couple villagers who are not doing anything at the moment, we might have a couple more families go cut timber, and we'll also reset our wood cutting area, and we'll widen it out here. We want to cover, or I suppose clear off the trees on our iron deposit, as well as down here where our tannery is going to eventually be set up. So we'll go ahead and set our new work area. And since our fishing pond is freezing over, we'll go ahead and unassign the fisherman's hut. Alright, and it looks like we have, we're able to upgrade our homes now. And I think we're going to do that. And the reason we want to do it now is because we don't have any more meat stores. And so I'm worried that, yeah, look, we're already starting to... We're not able to provide food variety to all of our burgages at the moment. So before we run out of all of our meat, we're going to go ahead and upgrade the 2 burgage plots that we're going to make our blacksmith and our joiner so that we can get that charcoal development point. And if nothing else, we can use some of the coin that we make from selling charcoal to import some food if we need. So we'll go ahead and upgrade blacksmith's burgage plot and our joiner's burgage plot. Alright, and with that second burgage plot being upgraded, we've got another development point, and we're going to immediately put that into charcoal burning. It also sounded like we got a new family moving in, which should be down here. And we'll go ahead and expand this living space for now. This will eventually become a forester, but I think temporarily we're going to use them as our charcoal burners until we can get the charcoal burning camp fully established. So, before we place this, we want to think about where we need... Well, we're going to think about the logistics for this. Obviously, we want to put it in these woods and somewhat near this pond for the reasons that we talked about before. But from a gameplay perspective, the charcoal burners will need 2 things in proximity. 1, trees. And the second thing is easy access to the main storehouse in town, because we're going to be selling a lot of our charcoal. So I'm thinking we'll probably extend this road, which is now definitely becoming permanent. We're going to extend this road into the woods here, and we'll probably have our charcoal burners set up right around here in the middle of the woods. That way they won't have to go too far, or I guess the storehouse workers won't have to go too far, or they'll at least have a more direct route to get to the charcoal kilns to pick up the charcoal and that they'll bring back to town so that it can be stocked for sale. So we'll go ahead and drop our charcoal kiln in first, and like I said, we'll keep it relatively close to the pond here. Just about here looks like it's good. We're going to take out a couple trees with this, but it's kind of unavoidable with this. But we can still try to minimize it a bit. And then we'll go ahead and drag... Where'd it go? There it is. Lost it in the snow. Our path out of here, and boy, that's a lot of trees, which I'm not going to worry, again, too much about preserving all these trees, since we're going to be cutting and replanting them. But we'll try and avoid taking them all out with this road. Alright, what we could do as well here, since we're starting to establish some of the forestry workplaces for these woods, we can move our temporary forestry workplaces, so the hunting camp, the woodcutter's lodge, the tannery, move them on over to some more permanent locations. The first one that we'll do that with is the woodcutter's lodge, and we'll just relocate this. Although I might just wait until the charcoal kiln is set up, but I will unassign them, and I'll wait till the charcoal kiln is set up so that I can see how the kilns are oriented and kind of make it look a little nice. We can also move our hunting camp, and since we have one path going into the woods, we can have a path branch off of it into here. We might want to move these animals a bit further again, which we can do easily enough by moving our logging work area again, and we'll just throw it right there. And then we'll probably, once these move, we'll move our hunting camp ideally somewhere around here, so that we can move we can pull a road off of this first road into the woods that goes over to the hunting camp, and have a kind of a network of roads that are, or I guess footpaths that our foresters have set up in the woods. And we got a bunch of planks now, so I think we can go ahead and unassign not the family, but the ox, so that it's not fully dedicated to the storehouse. Now, one thing that we can also do is, or should do, is upgrade our granary and storehouse. But what I want to do first is put a family, and we'll use the blacksmith for this temporarily, is I want to stock some more planks for sale. And let's see, how many planks do we want to keep for this? We need 12 for the granary and another 16 for the storehouse. So we'll set this reserve up to 28 so we don't use all of our planks. But we'll go ahead and sell some more planks so that we can buy a third oxen, which will significantly speed up the logistics of our timber, all our building and plank production. Alright, there they go. And they moved just the way I was hoping they would. Awesome. So we'll move our hunting camp so that it comes off of this road here. So we'll put the camp in. This looks like a nice clearing for a hunting camp. See if we can fit in one of these trees. Yeah, that's fine. Right there. And then we'll connect that up to our forest path. All right, there is that. Looks like our charcoal kiln was completed as well. So we'll go ahead and relocate our woodcutter's lodge and put it next to the charcoal kiln. We'll go ahead and put that right here. Then we'll put a storehouse here as well. And we'll connect that up. And the reason we want the storehouse is so that if we start adding more families to the charcoal kiln and the woodcutter's lodge, we have some storage nearby, and we'll set the storehouse to only accept charcoal and firewood, and nothing else. But that way we won't run out of space in the built-in storage of the kiln. It looks like we have sold some planks. So we'll go ahead and order ourselves a third ox. And with that coin, we can also go ahead and set up our joiner's workshop. We'll do the joiner first before the blacksmith. Seeing as we don't have iron production started up yet, so the blacksmith won't have any iron to work with. But we do have planks for the joiner. And lots of them at the moment, and lots of timber coming in. We'll go ahead and, speaking of, drag out this road and connect it up. We also had a second family move in here, and now we're going to want to set up a couple burgage plots over here by the charcoal kilns, and we'll put those here so that they're backing up against the pond. That could work, actually. That'll be one. And like I was saying, we'll go ahead and temporarily put these two families onto the charcoal kiln and the woodcutter's lodge. And then we'll go ahead and set the work area for this woodcutter's lodge to over here, so they don't encroach on that herd of deer at all. And then we'll also set up that forester's hut, which will be the long-term workplace for this double burgage plot. They're right there, and that way we can hook. Ooh, yeah. It is so hard to see in these woods. We'll go ahead and start this path from the back of their burgage plot here. And then we'll connect this side up to this forest path that heads over to the charcoal kilns. Add a little Y in there. And we can eventually put a vegetable garden on there. But I think we'll put a vegetable garden in... Ooh, I gotta get on this joiner and put them on large shields. Makes too many small ones. We'll have them keep a plank reserve of 30. So we'll go ahead and set this surplus. We'll just keep it at 28, so we'll keep exporting planks for now. And we'll set the joiner's production limit to 18, so they don't make entirely too many. We'll also go ahead and form our spear militia unit so that our villagers can start picking up the shields that are getting made. We can, though, come into this storehouse and turn off stocking anything but charcoal and firewood. And we'll turn off the market stall setup as well. We won't have anyone assigned to this just yet. But once this burgage and maybe one more get built, we can do that. I think for that second burgage plot, we can put that here, maybe? And we'll keep the backyard extensions on these relatively small, because we're not going to put any vegetable gardens in here. If anything, we'll give them a chicken coop or an animal pen later on down the line. We'll put that in there. We'll extend this road on the side of the kiln a bit, and we've got ourselves a nice little charcoal burning camp coming along here. Right, there's the first one. Got a bit of a wonky fence here, but not much we can do about that other than redrawing the burgage plot, and I don't really want to do that. And it looks like that got built just in time, that we won't miss our next immigration opportunity. There they are, and we've got a new message. We've received reports of a band of raiders roaming nearby. We'll track their movement, and that's the raiders that I've been talking about that will arrive at the end of the second winter. So that's why we're starting up our production of shields and spears, so that we can raise a militia, so that we can defend ourselves from those raiders. Alright, now that we have this burgage here, we'll go ahead and reassign, or I guess assign, that family onto the charcoal kiln, and we'll reassign this family that was previously a charcoal burner to not the forester's hut, because it doesn't exist yet. So we'll wait for that to get built. Right, we've got our second burgage plot here, so we're ready for another couple families to move in. We can also go ahead and expand the living space of this burgage plot, so that we can get another family to work on this storehouse. And that forester hut is built, so we'll go ahead and reassign that family onto the forester hut, and we'll set them a work area of back here, so that any trees that the charcoal burners cut down, the foresters will replant. Alright, it looks like our herd of wild animals is growing again. We still don't have enough coin to unlock the charcoal trade route. What we can do, though, is go ahead and upgrade our storehouse and granary. The granary will be the first priority, seeing as the granary, the level 1 granary only has a single hand cart, and upgrading it will give it a few more. And the storehouse has a couple of hand carts at the first level. Okay. The next thing we're gonna get set up is our iron mine and bloomery. So we can also get a couple burgage plots for that. We can go ahead and set up a mining pit here. We don't want this right next to our manor. Put that there. Ah, excellent. The Baron is claiming another region. He's starting to surround us. I heard a coin sound, but it looks like we're still just short of the 100 regional wealth that we need to unlock our charcoal trade route, which is unfortunate. And it looks like we're running short on food. Oh, that's because we don't have anyone on the fishing hut. We'll go ahead and do that. And we'll also... yeah, we'll add in a second family at the fishing hut. Seeing as this is a rich shoal of fish, we want to get as as many fish out of there as we can. We can always sell excess if we get more than we can eat. We'll go ahead and drag a road here and connect this into town. Right. I didn't want to drag the road from our manor to the mining pit, but it does make sense to connect the blacksmith directly up to it. Looks like we've got our granary upgraded, so we can go ahead and upgrade our storehouse next. And we'll set that as a highest priority so that we can get that done quickly, so that our logistics don't fall behind. And we can go ahead and build our bloomery here as well, although don't want to lose that timber piece, although we got plenty at the moment. Screw it. There's the bloomery. And then we can also build a couple burgage plots for the folks who are going to be our miners. We can go ahead and drag a road from this well here and connect it to this road here, so that anyone coming from this side of town can easily get to the well. Like this. Or one of our miners, perhaps? Oh, did anybody get a new family yet? Ah, they moved in here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and have that family be on this storehouse. And then this burgage plot, when a family moves in here next month, they'll be our firewood cutters. Yeah, that's coming along nicely here. It looks like our plank production has slowed down because we don't have a dedicated ox anymore. But now that we have 3 oxen, we can go ahead and put one back on there. Herman, where do you live? There. Okay. Since we've identified that the ox at this hitching post is the one that got assigned to the saw pit, we'll go ahead and relocate this hitching post over here, since it looks like we're not going to be able to build anything very easily here. We'll go ahead and put this hitching post... Actually, no. First, we'll upgrade it to a small stable. And the reason that we're doing that is once we get our charcoal trade up and running, we're probably going to have a trader assigned to this trading post permanently. And for them, having a horse is going to make their trading much more efficient, because they'll be able to carry a lot more charcoal with them to sell. And so I want to move this stable that we're upgrading from hitching post so that it's right next to the trading post and the saw pit, so that the ox and the horse will be right next to the workplaces that they're assigned to. Which is why we wanted to assign an ox, find out where which hitching post it's assigned to, and then move it. At the moment, there isn't a better way to do that. You can't reassign oxen between hitching posts, for example. So you kind of Gotta use a janky little workaround like that. And here we go. All right, we have our 100 regional wealth that we need. It's time to get rich. We'll go ahead and unlock our charcoal trade route. And we'll start exporting, and we'll set this desired surplus to 50. Just so that we still have some fuel for our own use. But that's going to start rolling in the cash. We have our stable upgraded, so we can move that over here so that it's next to these two buildings, like we said. We'll go ahead and do it manually so that we can get it to orient nicely. All right, there's a stable. It looks like we should get another family moving in now, which would be fantastic. And it looks like they moved in over here. Okay. We'll go ahead and... Let's see. We're having issues stocking the... We're manning the storehouse. So I guess for now we'll assign this... No, we'll put them on the fisherman's hut. We need fish. And we can maybe assign a family to the mining pit. You're unassigned, right? Yeah, we'll reassign this unassigned family to the mining pit so that we can get some iron in, and we'll also go ahead and build our blacksmith's workshop. Would you look at that? Plus 250 coin from one stock of 50 charcoal. The money's about to start rolling in. And to help with that, we're gonna order a horse. Okay, since we have a bunch of money now, we're gonna try and help our little food problem that we've got here. We're gonna go ahead and throw a chicken coop on the fisherman's hut. Chickens aren't the most, in fact, they're far from the most efficient food production, but they are food production nonetheless. We've got a decent sized plot here. Put a vegetable garden on that. And we'll also put vegetable gardens on, well, this one for sure, once we have someone living here. But we can put a vegetable garden on definitely these two, because they're a bit longer. Who lives here? Unassigned and granary. Sure. I think at this point we can probably set up our tanner. I think we'll put in another burgage plot here to have another. I'm great at speaking. So that we can have another family of miners potentially. Or just some kind of laborers. We're going to just build a new tannery, seeing as we can't move the existing one. Turn off snapping, and it's going to be over here at the edge of these woods. It's really not moving that far, but whatever. Now, what we're about to do might seem a little hacky, but don't you worry about it. We just want to get ourselves a nice, good vegetable plot for our tanner. We'll give him at least something, seeing as he's not going to be the most popular man in town. Look something like this. It's going to be one of them free-range, organically shaped vegetable plots. So free range that this corner is going to look a little wonky, but that's fine. Okay, now we can drag in the burgage plot. Beautiful. Just for fun, we'll go ahead and measure it with the field tool. Almost a Morgan. It's going to be a lot of vegetables. In fact, we're going to make that an orchard. We'll say that the tanner that's moving in, since he's got a lot of time, he's going to have a lot of time to himself, since not a lot of villagers are going to want to spend time with him at the tavern, because he smells like piss. He's going to take up orchardry as a bit of a hobby and side hustle, I guess. So we're going to have ourselves a nice apple orchard back here, along with the tannery. Realistically, the reason we're doing this is because we have food variety problems, and the orchards are going to help with that. And let's see, we've got 24 iron ore, which isn't that much. We did, I think, get a new family moving in, which is great, because that can be our firewood cutter. What we can do, since we have that family now, is we can reassign this firewood cutter to our forester's hut. And we'll also reset our foresting work area so that we can fill in this little hole here that we made earlier. And regrow some trees over here. One thing that I haven't looked at in a while is where we've got fertile land. Because we could, in the somewhat near future, with this, I mean, this is pretty good fertility for wheat at least. We could get ourselves the traditional 3-field system going here. With this. Do we have anywhere where flax or barley are decent? Not really. But we could put, like I said, we could put a traditional 3-field system over here, since we've got some pretty decent wheat fertility. So I think once we've got, I mean, we'd even put it here, but it's kind of far out of town. Yeah, I think what we'll do is once our woodcutters clear out this hillside, we can have them, well, we can move this logging camp out here and kind of clear out some of these trees here, like here, so that we can set up a 3-field system here. And we'll talk more about what the 3-field system is, and kind of how common it was in medieval villages like this when we get there. We can maybe still get a single burgage in here. Oh yeah, we can definitely get a burgage plot in there and just put a chicken coop on it or something. Yeah, we'll do that. Otherwise, we'll just have like kind of a weird gap there. Alrighty. It's July. We just had another family move in, and that is one of the families that is going to be miners. And we'll go ahead and throw them on the bloomery so that we can start getting some iron slab production going. We've got a decent stockpile of iron ore at this point. It's starting to fill up the mining pit. It looks like the tannery and the Tanner's Bergplot also finished up construction, and they're looking mighty fine. We're having big problems here with storehouse supply, but we still just don't have the free labor to resolve it quite yet. We can, though, get another little vegetable garden on the back of this house. It would be pretty likely in a small little medieval village like this that everyone, nearly everyone, would have a little vegetable patch in their backyard that they use to grow some nice nutritious veggies for themselves to eat. And so we'll do that. We'll also expand this living space so that we can get some more people moving in. I think I just saw another big number pop up at the... Yep. Big number happened. Very nice. Alright, so now that we're getting some big numbers at the trading post, let's go ahead and start up some taxation at the manor. We'll start with a small 10% tax. And the reason we want to start taxation is so that we can get some treasury wealth. We cannot hire mercenaries with regional wealth. We can only do it with treasury wealth. And the only way at the moment that we're going to be getting any treasury wealth is by taxing our regional wealth. And that's just exactly why we set up that charcoal production. Because now that we can start taxing and getting some coin in our coffers, we'll be able to hire mercenaries and keep a bit of an eye, or keep Hildebolt in check a little bit. Because the next time a bandit camp shows up, we can maybe... Ooh, actually, there is one out there. Is it occupied? Probably not. He probably killed the bandits and didn't clear the camp. But maybe the next time a new camp pops up, we can go and clear it out ourselves. If we have enough coin for mercenaries, that is. Right. We have successfully taxed our peasants. We have some money in the bank. Not enough to hire any mercenaries. Not that we need any right now. But it also looks like we're starting to get our spear production going, and we've got a full militia unit's worth of shields. So we are well on our way to being able to defend ourselves when this bandit raider shows up. One thing that I forgot to do was to assign the horse to the trading post. I realized that just now when I saw a plus 25 show up, and I realized, oh, that's probably the trader only able to carry 5 sacks of charcoal by hand. So we'll go ahead and assign the horse onto there so that he can take the horse from now on when he goes to sell our charcoal. Bandit camp. Oh, I don't know that we have the coin. Where's his army coming from? Alright, unless we get a really inexpensive mercenary group. Oh. That is the right region, but we can't afford it. Ooh, actually, maybe... Here, let's see. We'll fast forward real quick and get us into the next month and see if we can get the taxation. Oh, and there's new mercenary companies. Okay, well, have 84 treasury wealth to work with. Basically, the mercenaries need to come in through Rolo, otherwise we're not going to have a chance with this. Nope, it's not going to happen. Because these are all going to come in the other end of the map. Yeah, no, that's not happening. Although, actually, this Tausendbrück, since that's our region, and they won't arrive here, they will arrive on the edge. Do I gamble on them coming here? $45? Screw it. What's life without a little risk? Audentes fortuna juvat, or something. Let's see. And where are they coming in? Oh, the other end of the map. All right. Well, that's unfortunate. We're definitely not beating the Baron there, but we can maybe go here and see if we can go pick through this bandit camp that it looks like he didn't loot. Ay. Alright. And with those bandits, Hildebolt is laying claim to Roloch. So we've just got one left. We might need to start tithing for influence. Otherwise, he's going to start trying to attack us. But we are coming along nicely here with getting our militia up and running. So hopefully we can take out any bandits ourselves that pop up in the last remaining unclaimed region. Alright, looks like these guys are going to make it to this camp. Let's see what we got. We will send this to our treasury. Alright, so we got something out of these guys' salary. We paid them what? I think we paid 45 for them, and we got 100 some odd. Go ahead and disband them. That's not nothing. Not much, but it's not nothing. I would have liked to get the influence from killing a group of bandits. Oh well. Alright. I just got a notification that our genetic storage... that our storage is full at the hunting camp here. Which is because we aren't moving any hides from the hunting camp to the warehouse, and we don't have a tanner permanently assigned yet. So we're going to reassign the family on the hunting camp to the tannery and get those hides tanned. And hopefully at the start of the next month, we'll get our tanner moved in. It looks like we just sold even more charcoal, so now we are actually just rolling in cash, which is going to be fantastic. We might even buy some ale. Never mind, because we need to establish a trade route for that, and that is stupid expensive. Alright, it's October, we've got a new family, and it's our tanner. Beautiful. We'll also go ahead and throw a living space expansion on there. I probably should have waited until family members moved in, but oh well. Right, we've got that living space expansion. We'll go ahead and move the family on the tannery. We'll just unassign them, and at this point, we'll bounce this burgage plot between the tannery and the hunting camp until we get a second family in, and then we'll just have the second family be the hunters. We'll also go ahead and get that orchard going. That giant orchard, little hobby farm that our tanner brought with him. Looking at this, with this weird little road jutting out there, we could definitely put another burgage plot here and make it a vegetable garden. And I think we'll do that, because I mean, at this point we need more labor, which means we need more burgages. We'll give the tanner one friend. And how are we doing on our militia? Ooh, we've got a full militia unit. Look at that. How many villagers do we have? Not that many. So there's no point yet in starting a second militia unit, but having a full spear militia is fantastic. At this point, we are about to hit our second winter, and going into it, we've got a full spear militia unit. We've got 226 treasury wealth in the bank, and that's only going to grow as we keep producing and selling charcoal. And we've got a nice little village developing here. And we've got raiders attacking. We still got almost half a year. That's not true. We've got a few months until the raiders attack. So I think at this point we'll go ahead and speed up the simulation and get ourselves through the winter, and we'll come back when the raiders are nearby or something more interesting happens. We'll see. The first thing we did was place down a mining pit and a clay furnace near the clay deposit a bit outside of town, and we did this as we need roof tiles to upgrade our church to level 2, so we wanted to get ahead of that need. Next, we spent some time checking our goods stores and our warehouse logistics for some of our important trade goods. And then we went ahead and reassigned our joiner to start making small wooden shields so that we could set up another infantry unit in the future, as well as set our blacksmith to make some iron parts so that we could make crossbows as well. We added an animal pen to a smaller burgage plot in town so that they could keep pigs. Keeping pigs was very common in the Middle Ages. Many villagers just kept pigs either in their backyards or even in their homes for warmth. We also built another communal hitching post near the town square and ordered another ox. Once our clay furnace was finished construction, we reassigned the family that was mining to start making those roof tiles that we're going to need with the clay that they've mined out so far. And then we noticed that our blacksmith had reached the production limit already that we set for iron parts. So we reassigned them to start making swords for that infantry militia unit. Then we reassigned some families to workplaces that are closer to their homes, namely the granary and the storehouse. And then we built a malt house so that we could get some ale production up in the future. And we built a nice double burgage plot where our tavern keeper and brewer will live in the future. And finally, we moved our logging camp to the hillside on the other side of town, so that we can start clearing out some of the land that we're going to use for our greenfield farm. All right. We are just about out of the winter, and something exciting has happened. A bandit camp was sighted. And it's in Schassenspitz. Let's have a look-see. We don't have any mercenaries that look like they'll arrive directly in Schassenspitz. But we do have some that allegedly arrive in our region, Tausenbrook, and some that arrive in under Dornlei, which is right next door. And since we have our raiders nearby now, I think we'll just hire both of those. So that we can direct one of those companies at the raiders if we need to. Now, where do they come in? I think these are the ones from that are closer. Yes, they are. There's a bridge over here, so we'll send them this way. And since... yeah, we'll go ahead and just set up there. Right, that's these guys. Flock of Crazy Geese. Yeah. Okay, so Flock of Crazy Geese is these two units. Are the two infantry units. We'll have them form a line here. It's going to be the most overkill bandit slaughter of all time. And then the other unit arrived not too far from our village, which is perfect because that's what we hired them for. We hired them as reinforcements to help our militia against the raiders. And see, this is exactly why we went absolutely nuts with our charcoal economy. So now we can just throw money at mercenaries and not even have to worry about our militia, even though we spent, well, just look at the look at our weapon, our armament stores. We're more than ready for these raiders. Looks like Hildebolt's on the field as well, but we are ahead of him. We're gonna get this bandit camp. It's gonna be our first bandit camp that we're gonna be able to take. Now, the band of raiders has been spotted. Where are they? Kleinow. There they are. Nice. Our mercenaries are just ahead of them. Okay, cool. So we'll go ahead and set up our mercenaries here. We'll also, since we have just heaps of cash to throw around, we'll also hire a couple more men-at-arms in our retinue. Okay. And we'll go ahead and rally our retainers as well. And their stamina got immediately depleted. I think that's because I just customized them. Well, they'll have plenty of time to regen stamina here. Well, not that much, but they'll have some time. How's our bandit expedition doing? They're getting there. Baron's forces have... I don't know what they're doing, but these bandits are ours. More importantly, these raiders are ours as well. We might need to go defend this Burger's plot. So we'll go ahead and send these mercenaries out on the road here. This is, as they say, where the fun begins. We'll move the spears forward to catch them. Give them a shield wall. And then we'll send the infantry around the side here. And the retainers around this side. And this is going to be a bit of a slaughter. These raiders never stood a chance. Is that all of them broken? Might just be. Yep, sure is. While they run in fear, how are our other boys doing? Alright, the bandits haven't even come out yet. We'll go ahead and do the same thing here. We'll send the spears forward. There aren't actually any raiders in this bandit camp? Or any brigands? No, there might not be. Just bizarre. Yeah, no one's coming out. Alright, well, free money, I guess. Oh, that's the wrong unit. Send that to the treasury. We'll go ahead and disband these mercenaries. Guess there weren't any brigands here anyway. Ooh, we have influence, which means what we can do with that influence is claim a region and prevent the Baron from doing so, although it is the only region left, and I don't really want to settle this anytime soon. Not until we get ourselves fully on our feet here. But yeah, I think we are going to just lay claim here with influence to Spitz. We're not going to settle it anytime soon, like I said, but it does look like it'll be a good second region to settle eventually. But yeah, with the bandit raid survived, I think that's where we'll end episode 2. If you've made it to the end of the video, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to continue on this journey and see if you really can build an authentic medieval town and still beat the game on challenging difficulty. But goodbye for now.